Hello, this is Sandeep Unnithan and welcome to Defense Deep Dive. We have a big force going towards Iran, US President Donald Trump said recently. Well, the US is gathering aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines and strike aircraft near Iran. It has evacuated non-essential personnel from bases like Al Udeid in Qatar. It has shipped surface-to-air missile batteries and positioned air defense warships to protect allies like Israel, UAE and Oman from Iranian retaliatory strikes. Now, this suggests that a US strike against Iran could be imminent. But what could these strikes look like? Let's dive in. First, let's try and understand the aims and objectives of a US attack on Iran. On the 22nd of June last year, the US struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites using B-2 stealth bombers. Now, the aim was to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons capability, which the US claimed to have achieved. Now, the objectives this time around appear focused on deterring Iran's crackdown on domestic protesters. Now, a full-scale invasion of Iran is ruled out. The US does not have boots on the ground. But looking at the assets being moved into place now, what could unfold is a targeted military operation. A series of surgical strikes to degrade and weaken the regime rather than overthrow it. Now, the targets could be the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps or the IRGC, which is in charge of internal security and missile operations. Now, the US strikes would probably be shorter, more precise. Trump doesn't want to trigger a broader regional war. Now, the targets of such strikes could number in the hundreds. Iranian missile launch sites, radar installations, naval bases, power plants, command headquarters of the IRGC, etc., etc. Now, what kind of weapon systems will the US use for such attacks? Well, the US would rely primarily on airstrikes from carrier-based aircraft from the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. Now, the Lincoln Strike Group has now entered the Arabian Sea. This 100,000-ton nuclear-powered supercarrier carries up to 60 Fa-18 strike aircraft. Each of these combat jets has an unrefueled range of over 2,000 kilometers. Alekberg-class destroyers accompanying the USS Lincoln could fire missiles at Iranian targets as well. There's also one converted Ohio-class submarine in the Arabian Sea as part of this flotilla. Now, this Ohio-class SSGN carries 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles, which can be used to destroy targets inside Iran. Now, B-2 stealth bombers flying in from Diego Garcia or from the continental United States could also be used to target hardened sites like ballistic missile silos and IRGC command hubs. What weapons specifically will the US use for such strikes? Well, the Tomahawk cruise missile is the US's principal strike missile. It has a max range of 2,500 kilometers and a high explosive warhead of around 400 kgs. The Tomahawk can be fired from warships and submarines. Now, fighter aircraft from the Lincoln will use what are known as Joint Direct Attack Munitions or JDAMs. These JDAMs, it's a guidance tailkit developed by the US. It converts dumb bombs into all-weather smart munitions. They utilize inertial navigation and GPS to drop explosives on targets within a radius of just 5 meters. Now, there are multiple JDAM variants with 900 kgs, 450 kgs and 230 kgs. These are glide bombs, which means that once they're dropped by an aircraft, they glide to targets 28 and 70 kilometers away. And lastly, when will these strikes by the US occur? Well, the US is clearly waiting for all its military assets to arrive at predetermined positions in West Asia, exactly like the pieces on a chessboard. Now, the next few days are extremely crucial. Now, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has warned that Tehran will fire back with everything we have if attacked. Clearly, West Asia is in the midst of yet another security crisis.